From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story tonight, in a surprise move, a 20-year-old accused killer has accepted a plea deal from state prosecutors in exchange for a 10-year prison term on a reduced charge.
Earlier today, Jacques Lisby pleaded guilty to a single charge of second-degree murder in the August 2011 shooting death of 20-year-old Malik Moore. Trial testimony was in its third day downtown in Fairbanks Superior Court. In light of the plea deal, the more serious charge of first-degree murder that carried a possible life prison term, as well as evidence tampering and a robbery charge in an unrelated case, were dismissed. Word of the agreement was met with anger by Moore's mother, Taranita Smith, who said justice was not served. Moore was shot 6 times by Lisby in what authorities have called an apparent dispute that involved a female acquaintance. Lisby has already served close to 2 years in jail connected to the case. Sentencing is set for July.
An hour of sometimes emotional public testimony was the order of Tuesday night's meeting of the Fairbanks North Star Borough School Board. Many of those who attended the meeting are being directly affected by possible cuts aimed at balancing the much publicized and tenuous school budget. School Superintendent Pete Lewis says, quote, "No stone is being left unturned," end quote, and that includes increasing class size, something he calls a definite possibility. On a number of occasions, school board and staff argued on what could be done to make changes. Now, the school board has until May 22nd to approve and adopt the 2013-2014 school budget. 2 more meetings, including one on May 6th, are scheduled to continue working on possible options.
As President Brophy mentioned, we face difficult decisions, and based on the number that we received Saturday night late, we put together a budget proposal to try to bring the budget into balance so that you would have time for consideration for that. As you know, we are scheduled to adopt the budget on May 22nd, but we still have much work to do between now and then in terms of what will ultimately be the local contribution, and also what will our budget be, and what will we decide to include or not include in the budget.
Governor Sean Parnell's administration is seeking a contractor to help study how state royalties may impact a liquefied natural gas project. Alaska receives royalty share of 12.5% from production, and it can be received in the form of gas, called in-kind royalty, or from cash payments of the value. Should the state take the share in the form of gas, it would then have to market the gas. The Department of Natural Resources has up to $800,000 to hire the contractor and is accepting bids for the study until May 20th. Former Governor Frank Murkowski proposed the state take an equity position on an LNG project, taking its royalty gas and production tax in kind, or in the form of gas. However, the state legislature rejected the proposal for fear it went too far in incentivizing construction of a natural gas pipeline.
The Tanana Valley Watershed Association, or TVWA, works to promote measures that will maintain and enhance the quality and beauty of the local watershed. Today, the organization held their first Chena River Watershed Summit at the Carlson Center. The summit featured 10 ongoing seminars that dealt with all aspects of restoration programs to protect the ecosystem's functions and processes. The main goal of the summit was to educate and increase awareness of how water quality, along with habitat for fish and wildlife, are being impacted daily.
Local organizations and agencies came together wanting to talk about the Chena River. There are a number of different stakeholders who view the river in terms of habitat, in terms of the wildlife, and in terms of the economic value, from tourism to property value. And so this summit was sort of hatched as an idea to bring everybody to the table.
All right, and Mike Schultz is joining us for our first look at weather. Mike.
You know what, guys, it's not looking too bad out there. We have just some high clouds. Temperatures are trying to warm back up again. The good news is the snow showers that we were looking at earlier are basically off to the north and northwest. In fact, we'll zoom in on the area and show you around the Fairbanks area. We're looking at some snow shower activity, mainly to the northwest near Live and Good and around the Minto Flats area, but for the most part, it's not really heavy. We are looking at more clouds and the possibility of more snow moving back into the picture for tomorrow. But the good news is, by this weekend, we could be looking at temperatures in the 40s and even that magic 50 number by next week. We'll talk more about that and talk about the big storm in the lower 48 with all the weather later on. Daryl, Stephanie?
Ooh, shorts weather.
50 degrees. I'm excited.
All right. When we come back, sentencing for a woman convicted of falsifying ballot signatures.
And we'll tell you about the Winter Bear Project. Those stories are next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. 2 years in jail for a Fairbanks woman convicted of forging ballot signatures during the last election. 40-year-old Deborah Carroll was indicted by a grand jury on charges of failure to appear, forgery, and perjury. During hearings last December, Carroll pleaded guilty to a single count of forgery, while other charges were dismissed. Carroll was hired by the Alaska Sea Party to collect signatures for a ballot measure that was intended to reestablish the state's coastal zone management program. Prosecutors say she told police that she took names from a phone book and signed them instead. Carroll was sentenced late last week.
Tomorrow and Friday evening at the downtown Empress Theater, the Fairbanks community will get the chance to see a very special production before it goes on tour to rural Alaskan villages. The name of the play is The Winter Bear Project, and its story centers around a young Native Alaskan who contemplates taking his own life in a dark time. He is mentored by real-life Koyukon Athabascan elder Sidney Huntington. Although the story is fiction, Huntington is a real person who has mentored many youth throughout his life, and he is currently 98 years old. The News Center spoke to the play's author about the show's main character.
I was asked to do his life, and I decided that the best way to do it would be to talk about a fictional character, a young man that he had mentored, because Sidney himself mentored many young people over the course of his life. We're so thrilled that we can do it here in interior Alaska, where this story originated and is the home of Sidney Huntington, and where the whole idea for the play came from.
The News Center will have more on the Winter Bear Project, and that's Interiortainment tomorrow on News Center Final.
The University of Alaska Fairbanks Community and Technical College held an open house and ribbon cutting today at the Aviation Maintenance Program's new location just off the east ramp of Fairbanks International Airport. There were tours of individualized work areas in the facility. Tours of the recently acquired Boeing 727 FedEx jet did not happen due to weather and safety concerns. Professor Kevin Alexander said the open house was a great chance to get familiar with the new center, but other opportunities will be available down the road.
This is the first chance that the public really gets a look inside our new facility and to really view the university's investment in Alaska's aviation industry. We're all about providing the future of Alaska's aviation workforce, and we hope to really turn some heads with our new facility and get some additional community buy-in and educate them on what we do. For the members of the public that didn't get a chance to come out here today, we're hosting Fairbanks Aviation Day, which is kind of an airport open house on May 18th, and they'll get definitely an up-close view of not just our facility, but other things on the airport as well.
The U.S. Army Alaska Aviation Task Force at Fort Wainwright assisted the National Park Service by flying in equipment and supplies to set up base camps for the Mount McKinley climbing season. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has more in this week's military report.
The Chinook helicopters from Fort Wainwright conduct the operation each year unless they are deployed. The base camps are set up just prior to climbing season.
The camps are used to support all the climbers that go up on Mount McKinley, and any medical needs they may have or any emergencies that may arise. They're kind of the point of contact for the National Park Service for anything that goes on up on the mountain.
The aviators sling load the supplies from Talkeetna up to the mountain.
If we don't take it up, they have to make very numerous trips with the fixed-wing aircraft up there to try to, get approximately 10,000 pounds worth of equipment between the 7,000-foot camp and the 14,000-foot camp, where we can use a Chinook, make 3 trips and get it all done.
A lot of safety work is done before the camp is ever set up.
Myself and one of the other mountaineering rangers will get off the aircraft and probe the glacier and set wands indicating that this is an area that's safe to walk. We're looking for crevasses, and we're going to stake out an area that basically where everybody will be safe to walk and not cleared to walk outside of.
The Chinooks save the Park Service a lot of time.
And these ships have such a large capacity that it's a great assistance in time logistically to be able to do it here. These have a great payload and can get it done a lot faster.
This is a real important mission that the Sugar Bears up out of Fort Wainwright do every year to support the National Park Service, and we're happy that we can affect so many people's lives by taking this equipment up, and then if the need comes, rescue people off the side of the hill.
Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
So Joe, this is the time of season where kids in high school, prep athletes are trying to make their way into college and trying to continue their athletic career.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We have two peas in a pod that will go to college to continue those careers, but they will be on the pitch, and more kids, make those college choices tonight, and some will try to chart their own path without signing. That and more coming up in sports. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you on a hump day. The weekend is just on the horizon, but first, let's get to some Wednesday sports. We start tonight with National Letter of Intent signings for our local athletes. Today at Lathrop High School, the soccer players Connor Matheny and Evan Strong will play for Pacific University, a Division III program in Forest Grove, Oregon. The Northwest Conference team can use these guys. The Boxers finished 5-14 last season, but will have a good mix of experienced players coming back and promising newcomers like Matheny and Strong to help turn the program around. These two friends and teammates will take their athletic and academic careers to the next level together. A college choice sometimes just comes down to dollars and cents, though.
We knew we wanted to go to the same school, and so we just picked a school that gave us both a lot of money and that we could both play for. So yeah, it was a big factor.
Best friends since 6th grade. Played soccer together ever since then. So we've kind of always wanted to stick together. So
it's been something that they've discussed jokingly for the last couple of years, but they really got hot and heavy into it probably the last year and a half. And they've both elevated their play, really thinking they are going to go to college. This is what they want to do, and they're using it to get a college education. So.
And another Malamute signed a national letter of intent, and it was senior point guard Jasmine White. White will go to Glendale Community College in Arizona. The Division II junior college will need a scorer and point guard like White, as the Gauchos won 5 games last year and lose their top 2 scorers to graduation. They do have a 6-footer, but White has been playing with 6'2" Ruthie Hebart this past season, so the transition on the court should be smooth. Excited, White says she wants to contribute and distribute the ball and believes this decision came about by just following her heart.
Pretty good. I made the best decision that was best for me and my family. It was just how my heart felt, I followed my heart, not what other people told me to do.
It's a package deal, so it's the attitude, the discipline, and everything about it. So I'm very proud of her. She's been playing basketball ever since, 6 years old? So she earned it.
I'm just coming there to play basketball, do what I can do, and to build a team and myself, and just to be a great facilitator for my coach.
And more prep athletes are moving on, but these guys are taking the Dane Ebenez route. If you remember, Ebenez, a North Pole product, walked on to the University of Oregon, and last year was the story of the Fiesta Bowl with his Rudy-like career. Will Patriots Moo Rogers and Aaron Betts aim to walk on to Division I programs, and these teammates could turn into rivals. Rogers will try out next year in spring ball for Eastern Washington University, a Division I FCS team of the Big Sky Conference. Rogers is the second quarterback in state history to run and pass for 1,000 yards in consecutive seasons. He is very familiar with Eastern Washington. He's participated in the past 4 summer camps there. Rogers wants to major in elementary education. Now Betts will walk on this fall for Northern Arizona, also a Big Sky Conference team and rival to Eastern. The schools shared the regular season title last fall. Betts led the Patriots with 3.5 sacks this season and plans to play fullback for the Lumberjacks or whatever position they deem fit. Betts has family in the Northern Arizona area, and Matt Sattler, one of the North Pole football coaches, is a Northern Arizona alum. Okay, in regards to spring sports, I have some good news and bad news. The bad news, softball games this week have been canceled. Sorry, ladies. The good news is that there will be some baseball down in the Delta, if you will, but there is a slight change in the schedule. Lathrop was scheduled for a doubleheader this Saturday with Delta Junction. Instead, Lathrop will still play Delta, but at 1 p.m., and their second game will be a conference game against the Monroe Rams at 4 p.m. in Delta this Saturday. And on a final note, for UAF's May 12th commencement, Olympian and class of 2003 alum Matt Emmons will be the keynote speaker. Emmons won the gold, silver, and bronze medals in shooting in the last 3 Olympic Games. Emmons was a part of the 4 NCAA championships with the Nanook rifle team. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again for a look at weather. And like I said, I looked outside just a little while ago. It looks pretty good out there. Just some high clouds for the most part. Snow showers here to the north of us. Normally, we'd open up with a photograph, but you know what? I need more photographs from you. So send me a photograph if you want to share it with us. Just send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Here's what the numbers look like for tonight. Normal high 54, normal low 31, not even close today. Record high again, 2009, 19, or I should say 76 in 2009. 4 for the record low in 1937, sunrise and sunset. That works out to over 17 hours of daylight, 17 hours and 6 minutes to be exact. Here's what's going on in the satellite picture. A little more moisture moving across southeast Alaska, but still staying south of the Alaska Range. The flow continues to be out of the north and the northwest, bringing down little pockets of moisture here and there, but right now, nothing in our vicinity. We'll keep it that way for most of the night, looks like right now. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, of course, it's raining over southeast Alaska. You saw that earlier with the satellite picture. Also some rain around Kodiak Island, cloudy skies along the Aleutian Chain. A little bit of light snow being reported in the Barrow area, and just cloudy skies at Fort Yukon with partly cloudy skies at Nome. Lower 48 weather, a lot to talk about tonight. It's been snowing all day long in Denver, and they're getting ready for a lot of snow in Minneapolis. In fact, close to maybe a foot of snow in the Minneapolis area. Otherwise, lots of showers and thunderstorms down to the south. It shows up pretty good on the satellite radar. Remember the pink indicating where frozen precipitation is at, and you can see it's mixing with rain and thunderstorms across the Minneapolis area. They're reporting thunder snow, which means lightning with snow showers. That's pretty impressive. And there's the snow falling around the Denver area. What's it all mean as far as tomorrow? Well, a big ball of weather going on across much of the country. The cold air moving on down to the south, 50 degrees colder tomorrow than it was today in places in West Texas, and more thunderstorms and wet snow and just a real big mess of weather. And the jet stream is changing a little bit. It was diving down before to the south. Now it's starting to level off a little bit and stay mainly to the north. So this weekend looks like a lot warmer temperatures for much of the lower 48. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Snow showers for Barrow and Fort Yukon. Sunny skies in Nome. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at scattered snow showers for Fairbanks and Healy. Over southeast Alaska, the rains continue for Juneau and Ketchikan, with wind also involved in that. Over to the southwest, looks like mixed showers for Cold Bay, a chance of rain in Kodiak, and just partly cloudy skies in Bethel. And over the south central regions, we're looking at rain and snow in Anchorage and Valdez, with rain expected at Homer. Well, once again, time for our kids' weather, and this week we're talking with the kids from Chinook Charter School. And here we have a question from a young man for me.
Hi, I'm Nathaniel from Wendy DeMera's 4th through 6th Pioneer Classroom from Chinook Montessori Charter School. And I have a question for the weatherman. What is high pressure?
High pressure is when the winds are pushing everything away from it, and just in a sort of an area there. Usually it's associated with good weather, but sometimes, like in our situation, when the winds are blowing across from the clockwise movement, like over the Bering Sea, they're bringing moisture over us and giving us that snow. So usually high pressure is a good guy, but this time not for us. And of course, next week we'll be talking with the kids. Next week we'll be talking. How about tomorrow night? First, we'll get to tomorrow night. We'll have the teacher here with a weather fact, and next week we'll be talking with the kids from Denali Elementary School. All right, here's our forecast for tonight. 22 degrees, high clouds early, then maybe some snow possible by morning. Tomorrow's forecast, 35 degrees, another day with scattered snow showers, and the extended forecast. You gotta love this. Look at those temperatures rising to near 50 degrees by Monday, and even optimistic for Tuesday of 51 degrees. Overnight lows also warming up very nicely to the 30-degree mark by Monday night. How about that?
Not bad.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
You've heard it before, right?
Yeah. I still saw some precipitation, so.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, KTVF and Bailey's Furniture are teaming up for a Spring Dream giveaway where you can win a furniture package from Bailey's valued at $2,500.
Tune into the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center final from today until May 23rd for the first half of the Mystery Word.
And then visit Bailey's Furniture for the second half and complete your entry for your chance to win. We'll announce the lucky winner during the Fairbanks Evening News on Friday, May 24th.
And we can't win.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, more on the 3 young men arrested in connection with the Boston Marathon bombings. That's coming up next with Brian Williams.
And be sure to join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 for all your news, weather, and sports.
And with that, we'll say that will do it from all of us here at the News Center. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you back here at 11.